Hey, Kevin Inoue here from Fight Designer LLC, and coming at you with another product review and discussion, this time about even more shell ejecting toy Glocks. So what I'm looking at today, I just got from a website called Tanya Toys. There's been a whole wave of these shell ejecting toy blaster things, and if you look at it, one of my previous videos, I reviewed this one, which I got actually off Amazon. And the cool thing about these is that they do not require any gas or electricity or anything else, but just using springs. So basically when you start to pull the trigger, it builds up a little pressure on a spring and then it releases, and that provides the blowback essentially. So you have essentially a blowback toy that doesn't require any power, which is kind of cool. But as I mentioned earlier with these reviews, the first one that I got, while I was doing my first review, it broke pretty much right away. And there's some things you can't do on them which will apparently contribute to them breaking faster, like bracking the slide, other action that, for props use, you want your actors to be able to do this kind of stuff. But my main complaint about these is just that they're super cheap and plasticky. So that does mean they break. It also just means they don't look great. They don't feel great, they don't look great. Well, they have trademarks, this stuff is just paint. And it's set up to be a Glock 18C, but it's semi-automatic, or sorry, Glock 21 in this case, but basically a Glock 18 with a selector switch, but that's non-functional, and it's not actually a Glock 18 because it can't do full auto. So I'm not sure why they chose to do this. So the one I'm going to look at today is basically an upgrade of that same thing. It is another shell ejecting spring blowback, I guess we can call it. And I did briefly record the unboxing if you want to kind of see what all went into it. Now this is an interesting one. Once again, they chose to make it set up like a Glock 18 with a selector switch and all. And this is available in a variety of colors, whatever. This is on the Tiny Toys website for about $40 at the moment in whatever colors you want, whereas this one I think I spent about $20 for. So the question is this one twice as good? And we'll also then compare to some degree to the Umarex licensed gas blowback airsoft Glock 18, which is an actual Glock 18. So just looking cosmetically at the two here, we got like really obvious gaps and mold lines in the gray one here, the cheaper one. It's a little bit better in the more expensive one, as is the fact that it's got a little bit more detail on the slide. There's some text and stuff like that, which isn't exactly correct, but at least there's something. I like that this is actually engraved. The text on the slide is actually engraved rather than just painted on. And it's a little bit more accurate in that sense. Otherwise, pretty similar. Neither has the actual Glock trigger with the inset trigger thing. Neither has very accurate sights or anything. This one we got, the more expensive one, we got a little bit more detail on the shell ejection area there. And just cosmetically, this one also has some red hardware. Now, this new one can do just straight up shell eject, but what it's actually made to do is both shell ejecting and shooting these little projectiles. So we've got shells with springs inside them. You put this thing inside the shell until it clicks in. So then we have basically a bullet and a casing. You put these in the magazine, and what you get is, let me put this on slow motion, a projectile and a casing coming out. So things to look at here. The casings are actually, I think, well, it's kind of a toss-up. So on this cheap Amazon one, casings are a little bit more metallic, which is nice, but they have a sort of fake bullet on the end, which is not accurate to when shells are ejected. The ones for this new Glock are, at least the ones that it comes with, a little bit less metallic. They look kind of, I don't know, mustard color or whatever. I could try painting some of these and see how that holds up, I don't know. But they're open in the front, so there's that. You can also order these metallic casings. They cost a little bit more, but they do the same thing. And these do actually have a little bit of brass on the outside. So these are gonna look much more like the real deal. And I'll go ahead and test fire one of these. And I don't actually have the bullet thing in the end of this because I don't really care about those for the most part. It seems to cycle just as well as the other. And between the two of these, I definitely like the, the more expensive brass better. So I'll probably pick up some more of those if this thing holds up. And durability is something I do not know about. This did come with very basic instructions in Chinese. It does say not to rack the slide, so we still have that same limitation on actor action. So when you have characters who are wanting to do this kind of, that kind of stuff, just to show that they're getting ready or whatever, you're gonna have to use a different prop, because I think racking the slide on this too many times is gonna break it, and then it won't do its cool blowback thing anymore. Is it worth the 40 some bucks plus shipping plus extra for the shiny shells? I don't know, we'll see. Is it anywhere nearly as well built or as solid feeling as the gas blowback? No. The gas blowback gives you a much crisper action, better sound. It feels better. It almost has a tiny bit of recoil just from the action of the slide going. Plus, being a Glock 18, this actually has full auto that it can do. Plus, you can do all these actions and things like that, but these don't eject shells. So, it's a trade-off. If what you really want in your shot is those casings going flying, sure, now we have another option, which is cool. And I love that it's not going to run out of power or whatever. It might break, but it's not going to run out of power. If what you want is a solid, realistic-looking prop that can hold up in close-ups, that has the right functions, you're probably better off with one of these airsoft gas blowbacks, especially the licensed ones from Umarex or WE or one of the other companies. And I did get two. They had a bunch of things at Tiny Toys that I was curious about. They have some pump-action shotguns. I was curious about comparing those to the APS and PPS shell-ejecting shotguns that I have in Tokimori, which I've talked about in previous videos. And they had other handguns, and I do have one other, which I'll review in the next video, which is a Kimber 1911. And it's a slightly different version, so we'll take a look at that next. In the meantime, play safe, have fun, look good, and stay sane, stay healthy, and I'll see you later.